Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look at the energy of August. You can use this, by the way, for Sun, Rising, Moon, or Venus. And I begin every reading with channeled messages, then we take a look at the Celtic Cross. As I was meditating on your sign today, what came through was the symbol of the pineapple. And I work with totems in the same way that I would tarot cards. When I research them, they teach me a little bit about what the month has in store for you. So this came through with very much Ace of Pentacles energy. You can take a pineapple, by the way, the top of it, and root a new plant. The plant itself grows close to the ground, so it's very earth-oriented. Here's some fun facts about pineapples. The mother pineapple plant that produces the fruit, it only produces fruit one time in a lifetime. Whether it's 1, 2, or 3 different pineapples, it depends on the plant. But once that's done, then the mother plant dies off and there's like little pups that come up and then they can flower in subsequent years or fruit in subsequent years. What this reminds us is that sometimes we have one chance to make a splash. And another interesting piece about this is that fruit, you want to make sure that it's ripe because it doesn't ripen after it's been picked. It's not like what you can do with apples or bananas. So you get one chance to really make it happen the way you want to. And this is a chance to seize an opportunity. That means that you might be asked this month to prioritize something because it can't be pushed to the side because maybe you've been waiting a long time to do it, and now more than ever is the time to really sort of embrace this. So seize the opportunity and make the most out of it. One last thing before we move on to the next slide is, of course, the fruit itself has a really thick skin. And one thing that can help you as you decide to start a new chapter is to kind of insulate your energy and not allow harsh criticism, external opinions, etc. to get under your skin. All right? A couple of other notes and then we'll get straight into the cards here. So just as the previous one was showing, like taking one thing and running with it, that ace energy, this is also a partnership sort of totem as well, because the fruit itself is a bunch of berries that have grown together. So it's teamwork personified by that fruit. The other thing here is it's part of the bromeliad family, which for those of you that grow cacti and succulents, you're probably familiar with it. You typically water it from the top. It has like this cup that collects water. And in this case, the pineapple is the fruit that comes up. It grows as a shrub, not in a tree, not like a coconut. And so this has a very grounded, down-to-earth energy. So the networking vibe that we get with the Ten of Pentacles would be a part of this as well. This is a chance for you to really connect with other people in friend circles, in dating, and at work. And through this network, it's going to yield stronger results. So I can't wait to see how this collective success and seizing the moment energy comes through now as we take a look at the cards. So let me just get the camera focused and let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through for you. And as needed, we can go back to those symbols and revisit them. All right. At this point, I'm going to remain quiet and just focus on the energy that's coming through here. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you. Love that we're starting off with the World card at the very beginning. That's gorgeous, actually. And there we've got the Ace of Pentacles, deep past. Remember, if you ever want to look at any of the decks, you can go to my website for more information. I'm loving how colorful this spread is. Wow. Okay, so just beautiful energy coming across all the different cards here. let's begin with the Catalyst card here. And we have Gnosis, which is knowledge, spiritual knowledge as well. The Catalyst, by the way, is something that helps you connect with change, action, and movement in your life. So this particular Catalyst is coming through as a reminder for you of your cosmic connection to that sort of inner knowledge. In the past, the Hierophant card represented our connection to the divine. We would have someone else tell us what to do, how to do, etc. As I think we are starting to progress throughout time and space, we're starting to realize that each of us has the key. It's like the third eye, basically, connecting to higher self, higher consciousness, and other realms and other levels. So this month you may have a brainstorm, an epiphany, or some sort of clarification that comes through, and it could defy, surprise, or sometimes even confound people around you because it's coming through from, again, that higher space and higher realm. Not everybody's ready to deal with that right now. So one of the challenges will be communication of things. And that's why you got a very grounded symbol that came through this month with the pineapple. It's going to be like, for them, like how and why should they connect with it and care about it. Okay. I love that your centermost card is one of expansion. We have the World here. The card was in the reverse state. However, this is still an auspicious card. The reversal can mean that things are happening a lot faster than you expected. So maybe you had this wonderful timeline set up, you charted everything out, and you're like, this wasn't supposed to happen for 3 months. And now there's an opportunity that's knocking, and it needs your decisive movement right here and right now. If it were upright, basically the positive aspects of the World are expansion, exposure in the best way, sort of like positive press, word of mouth. It can also be things like broadcasting, podcasting, delivery. It's just basically good across the board. The reversal of this could also be unexpected news from afar, unexpected exposure, faster timelines, and maybe even resistance to change, but it's happening. You can't hold back the world. The world keeps spinning, right? And so your continued movement, flexibility, and awareness is what's really being asked for in this moment. Some of you might just be settling into a new job, new relationship, or new living situation because the World in reverse can simply be you trying to find your footing. Before we get too far into the reading, there's a couple of things I want to highlight here because I was just glancing at the cards. So we have control, we have something ending or coming into its sort of expanded phase. Then we have a new beginning here. So ends and beginnings or bookend sort of energy. We have the World which spins around the sun or the star at the center of our little solar system. And then we have the star here. So I see you ascending to new heights, you starting something new. And it's not alone because we have the Four of Wands here. So sneak peek, I like what I see. And I think that the World in reverse is just things spinning in a new direction. And that is exciting, folks. Let's take a moment, though, to really focus on this card that was crossing the center, and that is the Seven of Swords. So you can see a man in the background focusing on the details. One thing that we can garner from this is that you may be held accountable for what you've signed or agreed to do, and vice versa. You could be holding people to account because they're trying to get away with something. If we look at the traditional illustration here, it does a really great job of showing this person kind of stealing away in the night. The other thing that it shows is in the background, you can see these people kind of distracted or having fun or something's going on and they're not paying attention to the foreground. We get a little sense of that even in this illustration. Sometimes you can focus so much on the past that you're missing something here in the present. So don't get distracted. Do keep your word. Do hold other people to their accountability as well, making sure that they are doing what they said they were going to do. And if something is egregiously and ridiculously wrong, call it out. Because this is about establishing a sense of who's the boss. And we got that here with the Chariot here. The answer is you, but in order to kind of establish that, sometimes you have to circle this, speak up, say, are you in or are you out? And sometimes even be willing to call your own bluff or see if someone else is as well. Let's look at the deep past. And what's cool about this is the past and then the card that symbolizes you, they're both aces. So this is the pineapple that I was talking about here. You've been working hard to open up one moment in time, and now is the time to take action. We can see a bear here that's kind of guarding the way. This can actually be you standing up for something that you really care about and saying, I'm ready to step forward. Nothing's going to stop me now. It's a new day that's dawning, and the star is pointing in the direction of movement. Ace of Pentacles could be an invitation, could be a new job opportunity, a contract in front of you. It can be a proposal, business or personal, someone that's saying how they feel about you. All of these things are good, and in this moment in time, they're ready, whether or not you're ready. I don't want you to rush yourself or rush anything else, but if you've been working hard for something, don't let even your own sort of, this can be yourself coming through and saying, oh, I don't know if I need to do this or whatever. You want to hold yourself accountable to your goal and dream, okay? Because everything here is really good. All of these cards plus this, it's showing movement in the best possible ways. All right. I talked about this a little bit, but one thing that you're being asked to do is take charge or take control of things or pick a direction. So if you do have an invitation somewhere, maybe someone said, hey, do you want to hang out? You say yes, then they say, great, let me know when and where to pick you up or whatever. You might be asked for more decision making than you're used to. Or if you have something that you're trying to sell, produce, or distribute, all of which are connected to the World card, then in this moment, you really want to make sure that you're not giving anything away, that you're scrutinizing the contract and omitting, rewriting, deleting anything that doesn't have your best interest at heart. Because unfortunately, we know this all the time, there are artists and there are creative people out there and inventors that come up with something great and they don't read the fine print. Read the fine print. In fact, we have the Princess of Swords, a Page of Swords coming through in hopes, fears, and opportunities. So there is a chance to edit. We also have this card here, which is editing. So if something's wrong or not to your liking, edit and make sure that you get what you need and that someone isn't taking more than they need, okay? Speaking of decision-making opportunities, we have the Two of Swords in the crowning position. So sometimes there is not a black and white or clear answer to a question or a clear path that's going to be easier than the other. It solely depends on your heart, your intuition, and sometimes just the first available door that's opening. When you look at this path, you can actually see the light shining a little bit more on this path. There's always one path that's just a little bit more appealing. And this is calling you to pay attention to your intuitive hits like that, and also making sure that at some point inaction is just as bad as no action. You have to take a step. Keep on moving. That was one of the things. And you have the inner knowing. That's why Gnosis came through for you. So again, we have something big happening. A need to protect what's going on here. That's why the bear was here. An offer on the table. A need to be more decisive and more maybe controlling than you used to be. And all of this opens up more movement in your life. So the Fool is about now boldly stepping into that new opportunity without fear, without baggage. I love that the Fool always travels lightly. So even if there was something in the past that was a little bit stressful or didn't go the way that you want, the Fool is a fresh chapter. It's saying, and especially with this is something you didn't like, it's over now. This is a new step, and everything on this side is good. So you only have two challenging cards this month. You have the Seven of Swords and the Two of Swords. This is manageable, and this is something that you can see. They're both okay. Much better than like Devil or Ten of Swords energy. So I feel like this is within reach. Travel or moving or movement. Two common themes. You've got it at the center. You have it in the near future. So maybe you thought everything was all said and done, but now there's one more thing to do. You thought that you'd made your final move, but maybe there's one more move. You didn't anticipate travel, but now there's some travel. Again, one of the things that the universe is asking you this month is be flexible. See what happens when you kind of move in a new direction and see if it isn't worth it, okay? Now let's take a look at you. You're coming through with a loud voice in a good way, like people want to hear what you have to say. In the upright position, this is just communication, action, movement, contracts. But reversed, it's amplified a little bit. It's speaking with a clear and loud voice. It's saying no and meaning it, or it's saying, this isn't right, let's do this. So we have this leadership energy that's really coming through. This is boss and management. This is deciding, because the antithesis of indecision is decision. So when the Two of Swords is reversed, it's favorable. It may still be a little bit uncomfortable for you, but it's favorable. So management, decision, movement, and once or twice more, you might have to go back, negotiate, renegotiate. No means no, or I said I need this, I still need this. Consistency in your communication is also really important. In the reverse state, this is standing up for what matters. And sometimes, again, you might have to say the same thing a couple times in a couple of different ways. And one thing that I really love with this one is we see someone emerging from the water. Water can symbolize emotional difficulties or challenges, and there might be one more sort of push that you have to make, but it is also worth this weight and worth the effort as well. All right, all of this is bringing us to partnership. I mentioned the community energy of the pineapple. Well, we're getting it here as well. Four of Wands is a very significant relationship. This can mean partnership, marriage, best friend, monogamy. It's also holding space for all of these things. So if you've been lacking that kind of key relationship or partnership in your life, this card comes through to say, set the stage for something bigger, better, and brighter. This is the time. I like that not all Four of Wands have the people present. Again, going back to that old movie, Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Well, what are you building in your life? Sometimes self-worth, sometimes a foundation of financial security, oftentimes making sure that your health, that your resources, everything is in alignment. Because like energy attracts like energy. And I have to say you're doing a decent job. Because of that, what's going on in the environment typically shows me what you've been doing. So the deep past is something amazing. The environment is someone that wants to partner up with that. And even you yourself are just coming through as outspoken, bold, or ready to take a move or make a move. And two aces might also be two decisions that are really difficult. Now the Two of Swords is making sense here. Some of you are in the awesome but maybe unenviable position of having two love interests, two job opportunities, two homes that you might want to move into. Something where it's like, oh, I kind of want both. One is reversed. One is easier. So go towards the path that feels better for you. That's what I would say here. One last thing with this one, you can be discerning. Like, I like the fact that no one's there just yet. That when you really know what you want, sometimes it takes longer for that to materialize. That doesn't mean that it won't happen. It simply means that the universe is aligning the perfect synchronicity. Okay, now we have the Page of Swords in reverse here, and this is in hopes, fears, and opportunities. The page reminds you of the importance to speak up. She's outspoken just like the Ace of Swords was. It's, for many of you, a dream that's coming true because it's connected to this. We have the Star, we have the Page, and then we have the Four of Wands here. Also, again, connected to opportunity. Everything on this side, I'll zoom out just a smidge, is just so beautiful because everything is coming into alignment. And to me, that's super exciting. So don't be afraid to ask for what it is that you want or what you need, because you have a really good chance of manifesting that in your life. If you are, oh, by the way, the Page reverse would also be very good at listening to other people's feedback. So take a moment here and tune in, because we saw distraction or too much focus on maybe what's right in front of you. Don't miss what's going on in the environment. And that's the last piece that I have for the page here. There'll be more as we kind of continue through this, but I want to get to the outcome card, which is the Star. And the Star is just fantastic as an outcome. This is basically you being seen, heard, appreciated, embraced, just like the world energy, but it is reversed. So for some of you, there's an encouragement here simply not to put an artificial glass ceiling on something. If you're in an environment that does have something where you can't progress to the next level because it's top heavy or they have biases and things like that, then this is your chance to break away from that. Since what did we get here at the center? We have the Fool right by the World. So for some of you, the next step to expansion is actually just stepping out on your own. And then you're going to be able to accomplish what you set out to do here. And I quite like that. So don't mute your light. Don't say things that are not authentic or aligned to what you want to do. This is really a chance for you to establish your voice, your vision, your brand, and not sort of back down from that, okay? And if you're put into the limelight and you think to yourself, can I handle this? Will I be okay? Invariably, this card is saying, yes, you will. You worked hard for this moment. So embrace, okay? Now let's move on to the expanded forecast. We're going to take a slightly deeper look here at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I always like to begin with the health card, which is mind, body, and spirit. If you need an expert in your life, whether it's a doctor, a financial advisor, or if you're dealing with a lot and need to talk to a counselor, obviously work with those professionals. I'm here to look at energy, folks. In the energy of health, we have you are worthy. Let's look at this card upright and compare it to the upright star. Both came through reverse, but imagine if they weren't. This is basically the universe saying you're worthy, and we saw that with the Ace of Pentacles in the past. This is you saying, yes, I am, and then you allow more positivity to flow through you. You become the channel or the conduit for this kind of energy. When the card comes through reverse, just like an Ace of Cups reversed, it usually shows that there's a need or a desire for a little bit of healing in the heart space. Self-confidence and self-worth absolutely and exponentially affect the net worth. So working on feeling worthy and using this simple 3-word mantra, I am worthy, as your daily affirmation, it's going to help you. I would then add, I am worthy and I am ready to receive love and abundance in the highest forms. I'm ready to take action today. You can start to add on to your mantra each and every day as you start to feel solid in each one of those components. But love that it is coming through as what's best for you. And what's best for you is being able to sit in that position of power, opportunity, and allow for more abundance to flow through your energy. Now is the time. Gorgeous message, gorgeous illustration. And to get to this sense of feeling worthy, some of you may need to work with a counselor or may need to just work on meditation to improve some of that, some of the soul stuff from the past, whether it's this lifetime or others. Sometimes we have to really work on feeling worthy. It's not as easy as it seems sometimes. All right, just quickly looking at the cards, like I said, it may be time for some of you to move or move on. So allowing for that to be the first and central focus is going to be key. You can't sweep things under the rug. The Two of Swords in reverse is basically saying, I'm going to pay attention to this. I'm going to decide how, when, etc., and if to sort of deal with it. And I'm the one in the driver's seat. I also see for many of you just a need to speak up. Could be also be focusing on the throat chakra a bit. An encouragement to do light physical activity, work with your doctor or professional to figure out what makes sense for you the most. And whenever we're getting all these water cards, obviously hydration, what you're drinking, how much you're drinking, all of that comes into focus as well. But the spread is pretty good when it comes to overall health. One thing also with Two of Swords, vision and hearing comes in. So if you need to get that tested or if you need a new pair of glasses, this card usually comes through to remind you of the importance of that. Okay, and that's everything for health. Most of it has to do with self-confidence and the emotional outlet that you have in your life to release stress. Because one thing that she's doing a good job of is letting go. And that's really hard in everyday life sometimes because we're taught to just keep taking things sometimes long after we should. Focusing now on wealth, we have the mountains here. And if we zoom in on the card a little bit, what I love here is both the reflective value that we see here, that your strength, your vision, the work that you've done is reflecting well on you and also inspiring others. But it's kind of like an iceberg too. Mountains have a depth, a structure that extends beyond what's visible. You too have unseen depths or potential. And the foundation you're building right now is going to be so important to your personal growth and financial growth because in the environment we have the Four of Wands. People are drawn to you. Mountains also stand out on the horizon, just like the stars stand out in the sky. This is calling you to basically not be afraid to be seen. It's just like I had a friend growing up that was pretty tall, and I remember that sometimes I would see them slouch a little bit. And it's sort of like whether you're short or tall, stand up, allow people to see your full energy, push out your sort of heart space, and really allow for your voice, your heart, your energy to project out the true version of yourself. Never dim your light, never kind of slouch back, always project out the best possible version of yourself. And also, this is 10 of Wands energy. In many decks, you'll see someone either ascending up the hill or descending down or carrying the load of burden of trying to complete something. This is basically saying, don't give up, finish what you've started. And when we took a look at that center world, not the world card, which one was it? It was the Ace of Pentacles. In the Ace of Pentacles, we see the bear in the background basically standing their ground as well, okay? So defend and stand up for what matters most. Let's look at the cards and see if there's some additional messages. I think the big message, whether you are in school, working, or retired, is expansion and development. As long as whatever you're doing right now allows for that or somehow helps that, you're good. This is expansion. This is a new chapter. This is ascending to new heights. So the centermost energy, the near future, and the outcome all are around that. There's only two blocks: a lack of vision, imagination, or movement in action. Someone that tries to stop you by taking more than they should. So we have multiple cards around legal or sort of just communication things where you're going to say no and no again, and now someone else is underlining things. Even the Seven of Swords, he's going through with that quill and saying not this, not this. So just be really picky on contractual sort of agreements this month. Hold up your end of the bargain and make sure others do the same. Trust in your insights and your intuition. Just like the High Priestess, this is your connection to Source. We see it here in the star as well. I think this is a great month for partnership when it comes to meeting peers, colleagues, friends, love interests, but also like if you're trying to find a new job, it's going to come from that group of people around you. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Oh yes, you might need to move or travel for work for the success of that. And you may need to step into a leadership position. If you also feel like leadership is lacking, this is your chance to step up, speak up, or act in a way that is going to create change. Maybe organizing a group of people that, for some of you, this can be like, we see a lot in the news now with actors and unions and things like that. This can be organization, because together you can get more done. Your voices are amplified, okay? And when it comes to those of you that are creative or inventors or trying to get seen or heard, it may take a little bit of elbow grease and actually like hitting the pavement, but I do see expansion and I do see attention, and I do want you to focus on protecting your intellectual property, your rights, getting paid what you deserve, all of that, because we see a worthy card here, but I'm not seeing a lot of other pentacles outside of that. So stand up for the potential that we're seeing here in the Ace of Pentacles. And it's worth the work ultimately with this, okay? It's really good overall. If you're retired, this could be a chance to travel, to have a sense of adventure in your life. If you're a student, again, it's taking charge and saying, I want to do this. It's not about what you're being told to do. And mid-career, you might be taking a pivot. But ultimately, I see expansion, growth, and movement, and partnership. All right, let's take a look, speaking of partnership, at love. The message here energetically around this is Lord Shiva, which, just as this card says, is about transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force, steps are being given, dance with the universe. I recently pulled one of the versions of Lord Shiva, the Nataraj version, where basically Shiva's dancing the cosmic dance of creation and destruction. And what's kind of cool here is we have ends and beginnings, creation and destruction. We have not only that, but this sort of beautiful new birthing energy that is also a part of the Ace of Pentacles. By the way, this can be a new baby, new love, a new contract, a new idea. It's good stuff. So Lord Shiva is coming through saying, now is the time to move up and to move beyond. An end, a beginning, and ascending to something new. Love it. In relationships, it's the same thing. If you were stepping out of one, there could be opportunity to step into something new. If you're thinking of getting serious, then that could happen as well. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's break it down into 3 categories. If you're in a relationship, we'll look at that first, then we'll look at the other relationship statuses. For those already in, I was just hinting at it. If you've been together for a while, but maybe it's been difficult to know where you stand, because the Seven of Swords is someone saying, well, give me 2 more years and then we'll get married, or I need this much time and then we'll start a family, or whatever it is. This is about making sure that they're ready, you're ready, and that you're both speaking on the same terms with the same goals. If not, it's either going to go big or you're going to move on. So expand or move in a direction where you can find that person that's ready. So that's one narrative here. Another one is that maybe you're feeling like you can be more honest with your partner. This is crossing all of these cards, and everything's pretty honest here, or pretty positive rather. So I'm going to read the reverse of this, which would be honesty and transparency. So because it's touching these in such a way that some of you are feeling like I've grown beyond the fear of the Seven of Swords. Now I can speak my truth with this person and we can build something stronger. So that's another narrative here. The key components to success in relationships, and you can use your own intuition to figure out what the next steps are the following. You need to be able to trust the person that you're with. You should be building a foundation that is strong. There should be flexibility for both of you to expand. So expansion and freedom and unconditional love. These are big things, and that's why some of you are waiting for the right moment to really decide, is this what we want? There is basically a decision that needs to be made, I think, over the next month or two as to where you're headed. And if you stick it out and things go in the right direction, we see major expansion here. If you decide to move on, we see a better connection here. So the main thing in relationships right now is deciding, are we in this for the next chapter? Some of you may have also just dealt with a really big life change. So birth, retirement, loss of a loved one, something big. And it's kind of begging you to come to terms with that and speak about your hopes and fears with your partner, because we have 2 communication cards here. So again, you should be able to open up. And if you can't, that's a bigger issue that you'll want to work out with a professional if you need to. Okay, for those of you that are looking for love, yeah, you can find it. We have a pretty clear symbol here. This could be an Aquarius, basically, because we're getting air and then we're getting a symbol for Aquarius. So there could be an air sign stepping into your life. It seems like this would be someone from a different background, a different city, state, province, country. It's someone with whom you can talk easily. In your own life, though, there are things that need to complete first. So finish up any business that needs to be attended to. If you need to say, I love you, I'm sorry, or deal with something that was promised but not delivered, now is the time to deliver. Because you want to step into this with no baggage. I love that the Fool is right by the 4 of Wands. So they're coming in unencumbered because all this stuff has been dealt with, which is cool. And so the answer simply is yes, but finish what you've started. It could come through unexpected. When you're not trying, this person comes knocking. So that to me is pretty exciting. And it could also be something where the 2 of you are interested in a more spiritual or more developmental path. So school and meditation or church or something like that, where it's about knowledge expansion. And for those of you that are happily single, it's a good time to be single. Travel is coming through. So some of you just want to see the world, have some fun, some adventure, learn a little bit more about yourself, because these cards, this transcendence energy is very close to the Gnosis one. So definitely a great time for personal expansion, personal growth, moving, traveling, moving on. You still have a chance to meet like-minded individuals and expand your circle of friends and family if that's what you're interested in. And overall, it's good energy no matter how you shake it this month. So I like that. Let's move on to Destiny. And in the Destiny, we have a Phoenix that wants to rise, but the card came through reversed. Let me take a quick drink of water and we're going to talk about this. So I love the Phoenix. And for me, the Phoenix would also be connected with the Judgment card. In the Judgment card, we would see souls rising from the dead. And we also have basically the universe coming through saying, are you ready? Sometimes the decision or the path has already been cleared or made. And these 2 also work together. It's basically just the universe saying, what do you want to do? It's up to you now. And even though we sometimes wish that it was all laid out in front of us, it's basically your choice, your path, your decision. So the interesting thing is, even when this card is reversed, it still looks like the Phoenix could be rising. So there is no such thing as failure unless you choose not to embrace or learn or somehow kind of figure out, why did this come in? Because if you can see a value or a learning from it, then it's just a lesson, a tough one at that, but it doesn't have to constitute a block. It simply was something you had to go through in order to get to the next level. The Phoenix and the star, very closely connected too. They're both fiery objects in the sky. So you're on the rise, but you have to stop dimming light. You have to embrace opportunity. And if you can see even the setbacks in your life as key components to your present success, then things are going to start to get more fun for you and you're going to feel empowered. All right, let's take a closer look at the energy around sun, rising, and moon and see what's coming through. Sun, rising, and moon. Big changes with the moon. All right, let's begin with sun sign messages first. We have Queen of Wands in reverse. She is magical, she is bossy, she is stubborn, and she has a different kind of cat beneath her in this card, but a cat nonetheless. I love that we see the fire in the background. So don't be afraid to stir things up and to create action or movement. Sometimes it sits in your court and you're going to have to be the one that fans the flame and says, this is what we're going to do. She is one of the ultimate boss cards, honestly, right up there with the Empress energy. So if you need to get something done, you have what it takes. It just requires bold movement. She doesn't need to explain things until the cows come home. She just basically gets it started. She shows up and she also holds this sort of presence. She has a gravitas when she enters the room. Part of that is because she knows who she is. She's outspoken when she needs to be. She has done the work and the knowledge, and it's all embodied in the way she holds herself. So, I was talking about posture and nonverbal communication. That's going to be especially true for anybody here that's Capricorn sun. You really want to lean into body language, eye contact, and even the intonation in which you're delivering things, just all of the sort of physicality that goes into you, your movement, your presence. Don't underestimate that, okay? And lead if you need to. And one last thing with the Queen of Wands is that she's really good at inventing or coming up with a solution that's unconventional. So even if there's something that feels like there's no way we can solve this, the Queen of Wands comes through and she's like, actually, we can, and here's how. All right, let's move on to rising, and we have the Six of Pentacles coming through. This is basically important choices. You can't say yes to everything. You can't please everyone. It's important for you to decide where the maximum effective energy is going to be with your sort of investment. So to use financial terms, it's basically return on investment. So sometimes there are people that just don't basically take something and do the most with it. So if it is a relationship and you keep giving a person advice and they don't listen, that's not a good investment of your energy. Where if there's someone in your life and they're just hungry to learn and they really take feedback well, obviously you would invest time in helping them. In your life, investments are the same way. If you put money into something and you get less out of it, it's like, well, that wasn't worth it. So you're really looking for financial investments, intellectual investments, time and energy investments where you either get a sense of fulfillment, it was worth it because you feel better, or you're actually getting something back. And as long as that's happening, you're going to be fine. As a financial card, the Six of Pentacles is actually the key to finding and establishing balance. And so to me, I see it as a beacon of hope and opportunity. Typically with this, if there's been any period of needing, wanting, lacking, it ends with the Six of Pentacles because you learn the importance of boundaries and communicating those boundaries and weighing out opportunities and deciding all of the things that we just talked about. So I'm going to pull the traditional card up here and then we'll move on to the next one. But the important piece in it is the scales. And here's the scales in this card. And I like the posture here. So in this one, we're seeing a person a little bit less confident than they could be. And in this one, they are looking with compassion, but also with a decisive sort of point of view. So I think that this card will help if you want to meditate. You can't save the world overnight, but you can make a difference in certain areas, and you can't change everything in your life overnight, but you can make one step today that will have a little bit more of an impact than another. And that kind of goes back to the Two of Swords. Where do you feel most passionate? Where is your energy most received? And that's the choice, that's the path. And that's the message with the Six of Pentacles. Boundaries, balance, and choices. Which leads us to the very colorful tower energy here with the moon. And this is basically saying it's time to make a change. So for some of you, the change is overdue. We saw it, folks, at the center of the spread. So the world reversed. Surprising but necessary. Something's popping up. The Fool. Things might be happening so fast that you just have to jump in. So the tower comes through sometimes when we just don't take action quickly enough, and it erases the question, should I or can I? It's saying you must. So in a relationship, it can be a breakup. In a job, it can be promotion. It can also be like a proposal. So proposal or breakup or promotion or layoff, it can be positive or it can be difficult, but it's basically the universe just pushing you. Many of you are watching this in advance of the month or at the beginning of the month. That means you can take this card and flip it upside down and say, I'm going to steer the tower a bit. I'm going to take control of change. That's why you watch early. So if you're watching early, what you're going to see is like, yeah, I don't know why I'm dragging my feet on this. Let's do it because I want to have a say in how this is going to be done. Then you're empowered. Then the tower becomes fun. And it's just like a potter at the potter's wheel, throwing it down and saying, that didn't turn out right. Let's reshape this. Let's mold it again. Or a painter that might just kind of decide to paint over something, start again. You can decide how this is going to look before the ink is dry, before the clay has set. It's your chance to make a move. So the choice is yours, as is the case with everything. And that might be the title today. Really, the choice is yours, but there's a lot of opportunities knocking. Okay, folks, we're going to now get into the final question. By the way, the meditation is a standalone this month. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the comments and description. But now let's focus on your final question. You can see all of the cards here in front of you. If there's anything I didn't address so far, this is your chance to ask Spirit, what should I do, or what does this mean? And I'm going to pull a card now and see what the answer is to the question that you're asking me. It's time for recovery, folks. We have here the Three of Swords coming through. So one thing that's kind of nice about Three of Swords is typically we are at a period here where, just like the Ten of Swords, it's a full stop. It's a chance to move beyond something, and you know that you don't want something. And when you know what you don't want, it makes it easier to embrace, understand, and go after what you do want. So that's my first message here, is that even if you are on the heels of feeling like, oh, I wish that didn't happen, the Phoenix came through today to say, that's okay, because from here on out, life starts to get interesting. What comes next in this? Four of Swords. What is Four of Swords? Rest, recovery. Just to refresh your mind, here's what the card looks like. And what I love about this is the period that might have been difficult is being put to rest, and a new ace comes through because of that. Your ace showed up this month, folks. So the main thing for some of you is simply to put to rest a chapter that was less than ideal and not get distracted in any sort of negativity, not focusing too much on trying to figure out if it's right or what other people will feel or think or say, and just tuning into the inner compass and saying, this is what I need to do for my happiness so that I can rise above and move beyond this. So I basically just see for many of you a chance to do what makes you happy. And you don't need my permission, but you definitely got a nudge from the universe to allow for happiness to come through. I was listening to a podcast while I was working out the other day, Robin Roberts from ABC, and she was talking about her mom who gave her some advice where she would listen if her daughter was having a bad day, and then she would say, okay, well, why don't you get some rest? Tomorrow's like a new day. And I think that's one last piece of advice that I'll give you via Robin, which is from this point forward, if you set the expectation that tomorrow, at the very least, is a clean slate, and then you begin with the idea that something wonderful could happen today. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm really open to what receive something because I'm worthy. Now we've kind of pulled all the pieces of this reading together, and I hope that helps you. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what your worthy moment is where you're feeling like I've overcome this and I'm ready to embrace it. So you can put a little picture of a waterfall or a cup or drops of water and let me know what it is that you're starting to embrace. Or if you're ready to shine and rise up, put a picture of the sun or the star and let me know what your star moment is and how you're going to embrace that. If you'd like to follow me on social media, all my platforms are here. It's at Nicholas Ashbaugh. You can always go to my website as well to get those handles. A reminder that I do not give private readings or offer products and services through direct messages. So block and report anybody that does that and let me know about it as well. Thank you so much to those of you that are regular viewers and have either subscribed or given back in the form of a super sticker, super chat, super thanks, or a membership. Those things are really important so that I can continue to buy supplies and show up here. So every little bit helps, and I just want to say thanks to the folks that have made all of this possible. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative to be able to show up here. Thanks to YouTube as well for the platform, but thanks most to all of you for showing up, for spending some time with me today, and just generally being really amazing. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Remember, I'm here every day for a daily card read. Monday, Thursday, and Friday, I drop new uploads. And then on the weekend, I'm here with a live stream. Take care. Bye-bye.